Hello, John. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna
My
have,
pleasure.
what are your thoughts on civil rights and disability rights, and how are these movements connected?
Well, in every culture, country, and civilization that's ever existed, there have been minorities, or at least perceived minorities, that were taken advantage of and oppressed by the powers that be, the people that determined what was normal. And those minorities suffered. And sooner or later, they have all fought to gain their freedom and dignity. The blacks did it in my lifetime. Women began to struggle earnestly in my lifetime. They're still fighting that battle. And I realized that when I became associated with Triple that I was a member of an oppressed minority, that I wasn't just a single person, and that there were others that shared my battle, my oppression, and we were in it together to fix it.
What brought you into civil rights movement? Was there a moment when you thought this was wrong and I must work to change it?
So many things over my whole life. My entire career in the public schools, it was a daily battle just to get around the school building, up and down steps, outside the classes, in the snow and the rain. And some of the classrooms were inaccessible. Well, I was even told by my high school principal that I couldn't attend the high school because I'd be a distraction. And that my life probably wouldn't have any value anyway, so why do it? So it was a constant battle to be better than they were, to overcome their obstacles. In my working career, immediately after college, getting into the buildings, no matter how many steps. My first job, I was carrying up 30 steps every day to my work. I knew it was wrong, but there was no way to really fight it. And it wasn't later until laws did come into effect, but going to the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission proved to be a long, arduous battle. And I knew there had to be something different. I just didn't know where to get it.
What were some of the barriers that you faced in your struggle to achieve equal access?
Well, ballparks and theaters were the places that really made me angry. Because either you were allowed to sit in the alleyways in your wheelchair, and to be transferred to a seat, or you were put off way in the distance, or it was very difficult to see. To fight those battles, you had to get there. And then you had to be able to get in the building to have a discussion. So, I guess I didn't know until I came to trouble that you can make them come out to you and be on an even playing field.
So to speak, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you describe some of the successes that you experienced in overcoming discrimination?
Well, there were a lot of little ones, individual stories, but my proudest effort came with the statewide funding of the People with Disabilities Transportation Program in rural Pennsylvania. And especially when PennDOT notified the advocates who fought for it that the millionth ride had been achieved. And I was given the honor of being the facilitator of a celebration that was held in Harrisburg on the Capitol steps, and it was put on TV all over the state of Pennsylvania.
I believe we have some video of that. Do you mind if we switch to that?
I would love to share that.
All right, thank you for joining us, John.
My pleasure, Daniel.